and we thought it would be a good idea to allow you and the members of the press down behind to ask some questions of people, of industry leaders here today. And we have prepared some questions that we're going to ask, and then afterwards we will allow all of you to ask questions of this very distinguished panel. Please let me introduce to you from your right side, Mr. Terry Denton, who is the president of Travel Leaders in Fort Worth. Big applause, please. And next to him, a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Joe Martinez, president of Lomas Travel and El Dorado Resorts. And next to him, as you all know, Mr. Mike Going, president of Funjet. And next to Mike, we have Rodrigo de la Peña, and he is the president of the Cancun Hotel Association. Next to Rodrigo, we have a legend. We have Don Gaston Cantarell. And for those of you who don't know, he is the president of the Hotel Association in Cozumel. And of course, you all know Javier Aranda now. Now, let me lead out with the first question here. As some of you know, the Department of Safety in Texas have issued a travel warning for all of Mexico, basically saying that anybody in Texas should not travel to Mexico. And I'd like to ask first, Javier, what do you think of that statement? Is that really the people we have to listen to when we decide we want to go to Mexico?
All the touristic destinations in Mexico, fortunately, are safe. Your clients have come back perfectly with any problem, and as they have mentioned, 97% of them wants to come back.
I think you have to consider the fact that the state government of Texas has an ongoing battle with the Obama administration in regards to securing the border, and I think that they're utilizing these opportunities to try to send a message. Unfortunately, I think they're using a meat cleaver instead of a scalpel. I think what they're doing is unfairly painting with a very broad brush an entire nation when they should be addressing their concern where it exists, which is on the border.
What I'm going to encourage you all to participate in is the passionate response. If we're not outraged by entities like this, not using facts, speaking broadly, condemning an entire country when this same person can't guarantee the safety and security of his own people, his own state, you ought to be a little outraged.
So I guess the big takeaway is that the U.S. government, the official U.S. government, has deemed it very safe to travel to all the beautiful vacation destinations here in Mexico. Now, this leads into the next question. What is being done to change the perception, and what is being planned to do in order to change the perception? Mike, you want to take that one?
We believe that this is teamed a rally because it is rallying all of our government partners, all of our hotel partners, all of our business partners, all of our distribution partners to come together with one voice, sung many different ways, to get truth out there.
Joe, let me ask a question for you as president of Lomas Travel and El Dorado Resorts. I know that over the years and today, one of your biggest interest, one of your biggest concerns is always the well-being of your guests and also that of your staff. Anything different with that now?
I've been living here for the last 30-something years. All my business is here. My family is here. My grandsons is here. And do you think if this place will be not safe, I will be staying here? No way, Jose. So yes, it is safe.
When I arrived to Cozumel, we was around 1,800 people. Now we are 100,000. We are the largest port of cruise ships in the world. There is no port in the world that receives so many cruise ships than Cozumel. That means something because the people from the cruise ships, they are very excellent about security and all that.
What would you recommend? What do you think that all of us here in this room can do to help better the perception of Mexico? What can we do? What can all these fantastic travel agents do to overcome that negative perception with their clients? And what can they do in order to help maybe communicate to the politicians so this kind of behavior can stop? Terry, do you want to lead out with that?
One of the best ways is to send them here, because if anything contradicts the perception, it's the reality of being here and experiencing the warmth and hospitality of this great country. It's always important to use a top wholesaler like Funjet because they aggregate the product. But in issues where there's any security question, the thing that you know is that Funjet has vetted every supplier with whom they work. They know the hotels, they know the airlines they work with, they know the ground operator. I've known Joe for 20 years. He's like a brother to me. I would trust any of my family members into his hands. I know he runs a very tight operation. I know he doesn't put up with any shenanigans. And a company like Funjet vets all the people with whom they work, and therefore you feel confident that you can entrust your customer into their hands.
That's great. And I'll compliment the gentleman to my left, and you're right. You talk about making an investment in people, and it's not just customers, it's his own staff. Joe and Dolores both took the sort of unprecedented decision that no staff will be laid off. People will be trained. People will be better improved to serve the customers when they come back. So you talk about an investment and a commitment to the end customer, the people serving the customer, the hotels that provide such a great product. I think the track record you're in speaks for itself, and I will tell you there is just something different about this great country. But for us at Funjet, it is a personal relationship.
Now lately, I heard from many people that they wanted to go to Mexico and either they couldn't get here or they couldn't get the room category, they couldn't get the hotel they wanted. So what's happening? If there's such a bad perception in the US, how come the hotels are so full?
Despite the two tough years we had, 2009 and 2010, our numbers are going up. The allotments are pretty good right now, and we are doing our best to have all of our resources, and we as hotels are very concerned about the security. Despite in Cancun and Riviera Maya, it's a safe place.
So, I'd like to open up for questions from all of you. Please raise your hand and I'll come with a microphone. So please, any questions for the panel?
Bear in mind, I come from a typical city in the United States where every night or day there is a robbery, a shooting, or a murder. So on the effort of full disclosure, did I miss anything last year?
I think one great line that I've heard wonderful agents use: if I showed you statistics that you're at greater risk here in your own hometown than you are in Mexico, would you go? Yeah. Because basically that is probably statistically the case.
We try to get some unbiased information. We go to travel.state.gov. Are there some other places that have some unbiased information like that?
Let me say that you have a very good tool throughout the Magic of Mexico. We are updating the information on a weekly basis, so you could know perfectly how we are handling all our touristic destinations in Mexico and how we are working pretty close with the different partners that we have. We have a great relation with Funjet, of course, and they are using this tool with bags. You have a link directed from bags to the Magic of Mexico, so you will be updated on what is new, what is happening in Mexico. But I would recommend you to take a look to the different websites of the destinations: Cancun, Riviera Maya, Cozumel, Los Cabos. All of these websites has these testimonials, that is the customer, that is the tourist, that is talking about their experience.
Sometimes I like to know where the news media gets their facts, because when I hear them say something, they don't really say where they got this fact. A news person said that he knew for a fact that Cartel owned the nightclubs in Cancun.
You know, the amount of misinformation out there right now is staggering. the amount of interpretation of misinformation is staggering.
And the answer for sure is no. We're in contact with all the owners of the discotheques, all the bars, all the restaurants in Cancun. They're very committed also to the destiny. Of course, as a night industry, there are issues that they are struggling with, but of course not. The answer is no.
I have a friend who works for a major corporation in Dallas, and she was scheduled to go to Mazatlan in May. And with all the media going on, she decided to cancel it, and not to mention her company said, no travel into Mexico, period. Not any one particular destination. And then she met one of the guys that works for the corporation in Mexico City, happened to be in Dallas, and he told her that she was right in canceling her trip to Mazatlan, and that any time that he is in and around Mexico City, he has an armed guard with him. So see, when you hear things like that, you have to stop and think, oh my God, I'm not going to send anybody to Mexico City. And I never felt uncomfortable sending anybody to Mazatlan. So I don't feel uncomfortable sending anybody to Cancun, period. I tell people all the time, it's a wonderful place to go, and I have no resolve about sending you here.
If you really want to, you can get yourself so terrified, you will not leave your house because you shouldn't. And then you'll sit there, if you're that kind of person, and realize, hey, how many ways can I die in my own home? Right? A lot, you know?
So for right now, I'd like to thank everybody on the panel